Always be closing is the quintessential sales maxim. This phrase is even commonly known as the ABC of sales. When I was in sales training, we were taught to do micro closes at different points along our sales presentations. We used phrases like, "How does that sound?" or "Would you agree?" to gauge our prospects' interest and to reassure ourselves that they were listening. The idea was that every yes they gave us during the presentation made it that much easier for them to say yes when we asked for the sale, literally pushing the sale over the finish line. What if I told you this approach is giving your buyers the ick, and it's time to update your ABCs before you push your prospects right out of the room? We'll give this old sales strategy a much-needed update today on Don't Just Sell. Does that sound good? Most sales podcasts give you more tactics. This one proves you don't need them. I'm Rebecca Kilday, and this is Don't Just Sell, the podcast where your sales career gets easier when you quit selling like you've been trained and start selling like yourself. I worked in sales at the same company for 15 years. After a few years, I was asked to help train our new hires. I loved it. It quickly became one of my favorite contributions I made to that company, and that experience helped shape my current sales training business. So over the years, I got to teach lots of sales reps from all different backgrounds and experience levels. Many of them had long careers at our company, but some did not. One particular person really struggled with the sales strategies I taught in that training. She had held several sales jobs in the past, and she assumed the training would be like the others she had attended. As you probably know, a big part of sales training is role plays. In her first role play scenario, I played the prospect, and she played the sales rep. Everything started off well enough, but then I realized she was starting most of her sentences with the phrase, "buy now." She would say, "By now, you probably have some questions," or "By now, you can see what we offer." It was completely distracting and off-putting. When the exercise finished and I asked her what the "buy now" thing was about, she said she was taught to weave the phrase "buy now" into the conversation as much as possible so that the prospect would be subliminally more open to buying now when it came time to close the deal. This was her version of always be closing. It was completely transparent to the buyer and came across as disingenuous and condescending. When I gave her that feedback, she did not take it well, and she did not have a long career with us. I hated it for her, but for me, this experience highlighted the real problem with always be closing. High-pressure tactics do not work, period. They are turning your buyers away before they can even hear your message. It makes you appear pushy and aggressive to customers and shows them you prioritize making the sale over providing real solutions. In fact, last year, LinkedIn put out a report that says sellers who prioritize problem solving over closing outperform those who use urgency or manipulation by more than double in quota attainment. This clearly shows the problem is not with the message. The problem is with the pressure. I want to tell you about, of all things, a friend's recent car buying experience. Women, like myself and maybe you, know that we dread the car buying process because of the traditional pushy and sometimes condescending sales methods used in that industry. Thankfully, the industry has made huge efforts to evolve in this area, and they've had to, given that 62% of car buyers last year were women. Anyway, my friend needed a new car, and she took her baby in a carrier with her. She told me she wanted to see how easy it was to get the car seat in and out of the cars, and she wanted to see how the salesperson handled being slowed down by a baby. I thought this was a genius strategy, and I couldn't wait to hear how it went. She drove by my house with the baby in tow later that day, and she said the car buying experience was smooth and less stressful than she had expected. She said the salesperson, a man, was very attentive to the baby, helped her get the car seat in and out of the different cars, and he was eager to talk to her about the safety features he knew would be important to her. He did not ask if her husband was coming later, make her feel guilty for having the baby with her, or pressure her into anything at all. He stressed that he wanted her to love whatever she chose and that she could take all the time she needed. That's what we're looking for. That is what a selling and buying experience should be like. So how can you update your always be closing mentality to meet the needs of today's buyers? I say it's time to adopt a new set of ABCs. Before I share what my ABCs are, I want to let you know that you can start implementing them today. But if the rest of your team is still using high-pressure tactics, you'll be the odd one out. So I've put together an email template you can use to bring this shift to your manager. Check it out at the link in the show notes. Here are my new sales ABCs. First up is always be connecting. Buyers can smell insincerity from a mile away, and they're not interested in transactional relationships. They want real human connection, someone who listens, asks thoughtful questions, and truly gets where they're coming from. Next is always be curious. Curiosity is your most powerful tool in today's sales environment. It keeps you from assuming, it deepens discovery, and it allows you to uncover what your customer truly values. When you're curious, you're not focused on selling your product. You're focused on understanding their problem. Third is always be consulting. It's important to adopt a same team mindset when you're selling. You're working with your prospect to solve a common problem. Being a trusted advisor makes you a valuable resource. And finally, always be contributing. In modern sales, contribution means leading with insights, resources, and ideas that help your buyer make better decisions. Whether it's sharing a relevant article, connecting them with a peer, or simply being patient while they move a car seat from one vehicle to another, your role is to add value before asking them for value in return. Selling with this mindset doesn't just change your results. It changes your energy. It turns sales into a purpose-driven profession instead of a pressure-driven one. It allows you to show up with confidence, compassion, and integrity, and it's exactly what today's buyers are craving. I encourage you to find your new sales ABCs and experience the difference it makes in your business when you go from being someone who just sells to someone who sells inspired.